Hi there folks. Welcome, thank you for joining me. Here we are, it's a rainy day. We've had 3 days of solid rain. Getting a little tired of that. Oh, it's so nice the weather, wasn't it, about a week or so ago? And now we're back to this wet. When we have wet weather, it does give us certain problems, doesn't it, in relation to getting our pots dry. It's always a nuisance when you're in the middle of making and you're held up because you just can't seem to get pots dry. So, well, short of course, running around with a pot on your head like I have to do to dry out my pots because, you know, I've got nowhere to dry them, so I just put them under my hat. And in that way they're ready for trimming, you know, soon. Well, I don't literally do that, of course. But it made me think. It did indeed, it made me think. And so let me show you what I thought of. See if you think it's a good idea. Maybe we can work on it. So, it's going to incline the camera down here to my wheel, to one of my wheels anyway. So I devised this. I've devised a contraption, which is this. In this case, it's a laundry basket, but it could really be anything. And this simply fits, it's exactly the same diameter by coincidence to this wheel's, the tray. So that just goes over the top, like that. Alright? What is it? It's basically a hat, it's a hot hat. Okay, it's a hot hat. Except it's got here, in the side, a dead spider. Don't want that. In the side, it's got one of these small little hair dryers that just pokes through. As you can see, I've got it taped in place. There's a hole anyway because of the holes in this laundry basket, so I just push it through the hole. I've just covered this with a cloth. It's an improvised idea. So what we do is we take a pot. Now in this case I've got some handles here that I'm actually getting ready to do another little demonstration to show you about something completely different. But it was a problem getting them dry. So this is a little thing I've been using for a short while now. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to set the wheel going very slowly, like that. We're then going to put our hot hat on top, comme ça. And I do have a couple of these clips, so I'm going to just to hold it in place, I just put one on either side. Alright, and then I'll just put it in the lower noise position, otherwise I'm going to be talking against it. But that's going to dry our pots, isn't it? Inside this container. I'll just turn it off for the moment. I think you've probably already got the idea. Many times when we dry pots, and you're probably aware of this, but if you make pots that are to be trimmed later, you find that if they are not dried evenly, when you come to put them face down on the wheel and you take your trim tool, to the clay. If it's dried more on one side than the other, then of course it's going to cut more, isn't it, where it's softer, and cut less where it's harder. And then you can get a very uneven cut with your trim tool, and that's unsatisfactory. When I take pots, for example, and I put them outside in the sun, which I do sometimes, but if you do it, you have to be very careful because of this very problem. They can dry very quickly on one side, especially if there's any kind of wind or anything like that. You have to watch them like a hawk. So if I do put pots outside, I'm very vigilant to have to keep rotating them, you know, like a quarter by quarter by quarter, sort of every 10 minutes or whatever the weather dictates. So the good thing about this is we've got an atmosphere within the hot hat that is, in terms of drying, is fairly even because the pot is rotating the whole time. In other words, we're just already using our wheel for another purpose. We've already used our wheel in one of my video clips I showed you for sieving. Remember, we did that sieving clip where we put the round sieve on top of the 5-gallon bucket, and it's going round and round and round like this, and we just pour in the material in the top and it sieves through. Well, this is just really another elaboration on that sort of idea. And it's quick and easy to make, and if you don't have to do it the way that I've done it by any means. This is just an idea. It'll take a pot, of course, or some pots that one could put here. It's got a certain capacity, obviously, and you could make it taller, couldn't you? You could make it a lot taller if you wanted to make a drying hot hat, say, for a particular large type of pot. This I just did as it was sort of experimental, and yeah, my little ramekin handles, which I only threw not very long ago, I can already pick them up. So I will say that it is working. So just thought I'd share that little idea with you, and maybe if you're frustrated, maybe you've been walking around with a pot under your hat for too long, maybe you need to make a hot hat. Okay, there it is, folks. I'll leave it with you. Maybe we can improve on the idea and make it I don't know. Okay, say no more, other than to say, keep practicing. See you soon. Bye-bye.